Oi, oi! How's everyone doing? Hello, Gillian.
Good afternoon, Gillian.
Good afternoon,
Gillian. Early evening, tea time. If you can hear a lot of noise in the background, I'm sorry. It's the dog chewing on something. It's the only thing I can find to keep him quiet today. That's the only thing he's found. So I'm sorry about the noise in advance. Jim, good to see you. Jim Scare.
Good.
Yes. What's happening today, Captain? Or is there anything happening today? We might just not be doing anything. Who knows?
Do you know what? We've got a bunch of news stories and stuff coming through. Also, I'm so surprised. You were like, I'm going to go for a nap and be awake at 4:30. And I was like, nah, no way. And then you were, and we're here.
I know. And I was teasing you by hiding for a while, but I couldn't in the end. I had to come do it. So, yeah, I'm just checking the... Michael, way hey to you too, sir. Way hey indeed. Way hey. Hey, I heard him.
So I reckon we should do some lyrics. Why not? Let's run through that.
Straight into lyrics. Okay.
Should we go straight into lyrics?
Right. Here's the difference today, ladies and gentlemen. I've pre-read these lyrics, right? So normally he'll play he'll give me lyrics and I'll leave them in the back and then I won't look at them until just a couple of seconds before I speak to him. And I think we can do better. So yes, I've been let out of jail again, Gillian. Thank you very much. Let out of my cage. So yeah, I've looked at these pre. Now I can't remember where I've put them. Where are they?
Is it the lyrics in the Discord?
Discord. I bloody knew I shouldn't have closed that then. Right. Discord.
In the Meat Dad section of the Discord, you got this.
Thank you. Got this. I've got this. There's us and there's me, Dad.
It's in there. And speaking of Discord, just while Dad's going over that, I'm gonna put an invite into the chat there. If anyone wants to come say hello to us in our Discord, do so. Although you may not be approved until the end of the show or whatever, because obviously when new people come in, we've got to sort of make sure that they're real accounts and stuff. And
we don't want to not letting anyone in wearing trainers or anything like that. With the pants down around their ass. You can't come in.
It's not 2-pack. Yeah, if you name them all quickly, I might get the 5 points. Just name every 2-pack
good
song.
Try, Michael. Good try,
if you can name every 2-pack song, I'll give you 6 points.
No, right. Are you? Well, I'm ready to start this when you are. Just to get off before Michael starts. Actually,
alrighty then, let's go.
Okay, I got it. Let me think. I guess it's my turn. Maybe it's time to put this pussy on your sideburns. You see I'm bad. He's probably right. He's pressing me button downs on a Friday night. I'm so pretty, like, be on my pedal bike, be on my low starch, be on my eco whites. He say, Nicky, don't stop, you the bestest. And I just be coming off the top. Asbestos. Fucking asbestos.
So they were the lyrics of 5 points if you can guess both the artist and the track. But there's also an additional 5 points if you can name all of the artists that featured in this track, because it was a bit of an ensemble of some. The first time I saw this particular rapper, but there we go. The first 5 points is gone already. So there's Jim Speak with Nicki Minaj. It was Nicki Minaj.
Jim again.
What song was it? And another, the rest of the people that featured on that track.
Pussy on your sideburns. Fucking asbestos. I've never heard anyone rhyme asbestos before.
She's a lyrical genius, Dad. She's throwing asbestos bars at you. Do you know what I mean?
Fucking asbestos.
It's not. No, it's not. Now, I am willing to give you guys a clue. However, However,
Yes, Skyworks. They are.
yeah, I'm willing to give you a clue, but you will lose points for it. So
I'm
I'm willing to
actually
tell you who the other feature artists were, but the points won't be available for it anymore. I'll let you guys in the chat make that up. Drake and P. Diddy, that's her kind of people. So you're 50% right. I'm not telling you which one, but yes. Yeah, one of them did
Ooh.
feature in this track.
It's
No,
coming.
I'll tell you, it was Drake featured in this track as well. That was shockingly accurate.
Well,
but no one's getting it, and no one else is getting it. I'm willing
this
to
is the
give
best one yet. I'll read next week's early too. Michael's giving up.
Don't worry, Dad. We've got 7 more for you to read this show. No,
Who's this Morphia?
So right, I'm going to take away. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to take away 5 points, and I'm going to tell you some of the other collaborating artists. Eminem was in this song. Drake was in this song, and I think Lil Wayne was also in this song as well.
Was that like I'm saying P. Diddy was the other one? Oh no, you said Drake.
Oh no, wait. Do you know what? I think I've just lied to all of them. I think I've just got that completely wrong. I think I've just described Forever, and it's not that one. It's the other one. But let me have to. It was.
Oh.
It was a big. Right. It was a big.
Skyworks, butt out till we finish this. Carry on.
Right. It's got one singular. I mean. Shall I just tell you?
Well, maybe the
Big Wayne was busy, obviously.
Whatever that means. I take it he's in prison or dead.
All right, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna put you out of your misery, and then we'll move on to the headlines because we've got one troll who's just like, "Oh, please do it." Afternoon, Shelley. So the song was here. You go. The song was "Bedrock" by Young Money. Young Money was Lil Wayne's group, wasn't it? That he sort of put together with these young up and coming artists, and Nicki Minaj was one of them.
Do you call them Young Money?
Young Money, yeah.
No shit.
Now they're wealthy as fuck.
So it's done. It's done.
We killed it. It died.
There were only 5 points went out that time. To Jim, of course. I think. Was that right? Jim got it. Jim got
5 points, yeah.
Yeah. 5 points.
You guessed the artist.
3. So yeah, headlines time possibly. Now
yeah, absolutely. You want to have a look at the
stuff. You need to get. I mean, you just need to Skyworks. Do you do this in your normal life? Just butt in, talk about something else. Sorry, carry on.
It's all right, Dad. Just don't feed the trolls.
Gently telling him off. That's all.
No. So what I'm thinking is if you can get yourself with the Peter Mallison stuff there, and then shall stick a thing on, and then we'll go down to the headlines like that.
Okay. Mandy. Call me Mandy.
All right, you ready? Let me know when you're ready, and I'll hit the thing, and we'll go.
Yeah, hang on 1 second. I've bloody lost him. Where is he?
You've lost it.
You've lost it. No, he isn't. Oh, there he is. Oh, yes. Okay. Call me Mandy. I'm ready when you are, mate. Oh, you didn't need to ban Skyworks.
I didn't. I timed them out because they were annoying me. So that was all.
Okay. But I mean, they are pretty regular. Obviously right wing, but pretty regular.
A regular bell end, yeah.
Okay.
No regrets.
Right, so it's headlines time, isn't it not?
It is.
Peter Mandelson arrest. So the Prince of Darkness returns to the headlines, but not for the reasons you'd think. He's been arrested, finally. He was nicked by police over incidents that relate to the late paedophile extraordinaire Jeffrey Epstein. This comes just days after the perv formerly known as Prince was also arrested, and Uncle Handy and Galandi. But interestingly enough, it's not for the horrific sex crimes like we've been expecting. Instead, it's misconduct in office. It is surprising, but this offence does carry a maximum sentence of life in prison. Seems an odd choice, though. Mandelson, but we don't know what he's got up to, obviously. But Mandelson's career has long been defined by turbulence, controversy, and dramatic reversals of fortune. Resignations, comebacks, reinventions, and a lot of questions yet to be asked. He's been accused of passing off market-sensitive information when he was our business secretary for the United Kingdom. In communication with Epstein, he told him in advance information such as the resignation of our then leader, Gordon Brown, and seemed to boast that he finally got him to leave. Why was our business secretary working for the world's most famous paedophile and child sex trafficker? And why, knowing this and much more, did Keir Starmer allow him the dignity of resignation? He should have been sacked and thrown to the police long ago. Just 6 months ago, he was the top diplomat in the government. Yesterday, sat on a blue mattress. It was interesting to watch him being loaded into the car as he was driven to the police station, although it is a bittersweet as we see that the elites do not get the same treatment with cuffs, etc. That appears to be a class-specific formality by police in Britain.
I mean, it is a class-specific formality, isn't it? It's only if you're a specific class that you get the cuffs done behind your back. Hello, Strawberry Atheist. Hello, Shelley. Hello, MZ.
Hello, guys. Yes, he's a strange character altogether, isn't he? Absolutely, he's one of the pervs. And they're bloody charging him with that. If anyone in the chat can make sense of that, the fact that he's charged with what was it? Something in public office.
Misconduct in a public office.
Conduct in a public office.
Right. Do you remember?
And not with the sex crimes. It seems odd, but there we go.
Yeah, well, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you then, Dad. But do you remember when we were speaking yesterday about this subject? Because our chatters let us know as it was happening live and he'd just been arrested. And we were like, oh, that's quite mad. So we thought we'd obviously do this little recap now. But yesterday we were speaking about, and I'm after other discussions and out and chatting with people, I kind of feel I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on for this. I'm not going to call it headline. I'm going to call this one a tinfoil hat thing. But right, there's two possibilities. The first one is, imagine like Al Capone. Al Capone did some horrible, nasty, very much prison for the rest of his life worthy stuff. However, he went to prison because of tax evasion, because that's what they could get him on. And that was the only thing they could get him on at that time. So they threw the book at him and they put him in for as long as they could based on this one seemingly mild crime compared to the litany of offences that he'd done. Now, we're not saying that that Mandelson has or hasn't done anything. He's only been arrested at this point. But it could be that this might be the only thing that they can get him on. And very much like the tax evasion charge that they got Al Capone on, this is like, it's got quite a hefty prison sentence that goes along with it. There's that, or there's the other theory sort of thing that's floating around at the moment, which is that this is symbolic. Far too many people are outraged by what's happening with the Epstein files. So people need to be arrested. Prominent people need to be arrested. And seen to, the justice system needs to be seen to be working. However, not for any of the offences that you would typically associate with the Epstein files. So they've addressed it.
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to make an example. I doubt it. Not with him. Prince of Darkness. Look at this. Who knows what he's been up to? I just don't know. I don't understand. It'd be nice to have Plod come and tell us what was going on.
Well, he's been released at the moment. He's on bail. I'm not too sure what his conditions are, but yeah, that's pretty much it from Mandelson. Obviously, we discussed most of it yesterday as it was unfolding, but it is certainly an interesting story to see this and how it connects with Prince Andrew. And I'm hoping that this is a good sign, not the sign of a cover-up, but the sign that something's faulting, and we're going to start seeing a lot more arrests, and the police forces are starting to really take this stuff seriously. But
I wonder if part of this is Starmer driven to raise his popularity a bit. He's been making some decent moves recently, over all kinds of things, over a whole spread of stuff. He's been making changes for the better. Let's see if he's just trying to save his. I mean, he's not going to do it, but I suspect he's somewhat trying to save his reputation.
Could you imagine if this is the ultimate distraction that no government has tried yet? What about just raising the standard of living? Could you imagine if he did that? He was like, do you know what? I might just flip the game on him, raise the standard of living, and I'll stop talking about the Epstein-Mandelson stuff.
Maybe. Who knows?
It's the biggest distraction ever.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, I want to talk about now what's happening in Mexico. And I just wanted to clarify as well before we jump into it is a very, very serious subject, and we're not going to be talking in detail too much about any of the headlines that we're doing. We're not experts. We're just bringing you the news as we understand it. You know, just you can all make your own decisions. This is all stuff that you should go out and Google and have a look at. And you know, I don't know how else other people get their news through smoke signals. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, I thought I'd say that anyway.
Me to read?
No, I got this one actually, to be fair.
Okay, yeah.
I do. But large parts of Mexico have been gripped by violence as cartel gunmen go on a violent rampage following federal forces killing the powerful, notorious cartel leader, El Mencho. So authorities have attempted to capture Nismo Rubin Osguera Creventes I'm so sorry for butchering that, in the western state on Sunday, but the raid has led to a firefight that fatally wounded the famous leader and killed 6 of his accomplices, according to officials. Now, here's where it gets really crazy. You know, the question of like who really runs Mexico, because retaliatory cartel attacks since then have killed 25 members of the National Guard and the security guard. That was according to Mexico's security minister. And he said that 30 cartel operatives were killed as well as 1 bystander. There is so much aggression and violence happening in Mexico right now. It's incredible. Like, I've never known anything like it. I've watched Narcos and things like that, and I didn't think this stuff was actually real, but there it is in real life. It's not, you know, it really is that plain as day. There've also been a lot of organized arson campaigns across more than a dozen Mexican states. The president has urged calm, and authorities said that all of more than 250 cartel roadblocks across the 20 states had been cleared. It is uncertain if the violence will continue, and previous operations to kill or capture organized crime bosses have led to eruptions of bloodshed and chaos as cartels retaliate against the government. Efforts to remove kingpins have also left dangerous power vacuums and provoked bloodshed, and unfortunately, it's not yet clear if the thousands of troops that Mexico are now deploying in and around the area are going to result in more bloodshed or less. I don't really know how that's going to go down. But yeah, who does really run Mexico? That's a question, I guess, that people like us are trying to get at the moment. And it seems that the cartel believe that it's them. Many tourists have been caught up in all this. The UK issued advice recently that any citizens there that are on holiday or whatever, because a lot of this area is tourist turf, they're asking people to stay indoors until it's been calmed, like, basically. But bullets are flying, buildings and cars and lorries are being set on fire, people are being killed. It's, you know, it's not just a dangerous situation, it's pretty much like a war zone out there, and we hope it ends as soon as possible. Have you seen
violence again? Hey, drugs and violence.
Drugs and violence. Like, I thought this was all like you're older than I am, Dad. What's your take on this? Is this like more of the same? What's your take on, like, is this like more of the same? Because this is the first time I've seen this scale of like violence in Mexico outside of a TV show.
My gosh, no, they used to kidnap all kinds of, I mean, they still do kidnap all kinds of people, hold them to ransom or hang them off bridges with their heads missing and stuff. It's going on all the time. And it's fucking America's war on drugs that's behind this again. The effects that country has on the world is fucking well out of shape. Yes, this is all war on drugs, violence. I'm so sorry. It's fucking, and you know, it's a country being destroyed by drugs that we demand. But don't forget, drugs is a demand-led empire. People don't buy it on spec so that they can hang around fucking schools feeding it to kids in the hope that they'll get fucking make it habitual. I've forgotten the word. Addictive, hoping kids get addictive. That's not how it works. What it is grown-ups order the drugs, and that's why they supply them.
There is a hell of a market for it, isn't there? That's what the real issue is. People want to buy it. Grown-ups in both America, across the world. I know America is one of the biggest markets for cocaine, but across the world, cocaine and cocaine violence is a huge issue. There is a huge market for not just this drug, but all drugs, and the way that it's regulated.
I also have a theory on that, don't I? I don't know if you. I'm going to bring out any. The one about Afghanistan, particularly. So the amount of drugs that's coming out of Afghanistan, once again, it's a military-sized operation. Now we've known that for years now, Afghanistan, there hasn't been a goat hasn't been able to fart without somebody knowing in America what's going on. They've had satellites and they've got spies and they've got secret listening stations. They know what's going on all over that country, and yet this stuff's opium and stuff coming out of Afghanistan, the poppy opium coming out of there. It's such massive. It can only be a military operation. Nobody else has got that kind of nobody privately has that kind of infrastructure to do this. This is a military style operation, and I rather suspect it's an American military operation. I suspect they're shipping it out in by the plane load.
How else? Because that has been a sort of idea for a very, very long time. The idea that the industrial scale, the global scale of it all, it would maybe have to involve certain governments and things like that. Maybe there are concessions made because the cartel. When I was learning about Escobar, right? Pablo Escobar. There was a really cool Narcos TV show, and essentially my understanding of that, I read a report that was talking about it that said that there was a war that happened between the cartel, or between this individual and the government in Colombia, or in places in Mexico with other various cartels that have emerged there, and they are just as big and as dangerous as it's whoever wins the war runs the country, and the cartel are just as big as the government are in terms of manpower, in terms of resources and everything else. There is so much money being funneled this way in such poor areas that they can employ an army of people, as we see now. This what the images that you're seeing here now is part of an organized campaign across more than a dozen Mexican states of arson. The cartel are retaliating against the National Guard, the federal agents killing the cartel leader, and they've now gone a scorched earth, literally a scorched earth routine. They're burning buses, lorries, cars, just buildings, anything they can, and it's all over the place. You can see smoke in the distance as well. Mexico was smoking.
I'm going to put this up from Strawberry. I'm going to say I disagree with this. Strawberry, I disagree with this really quite strongly. We should have this discussion maybe sometime. Maybe not today. We should, so that we can advertise in advance.
Should the next stream be called to green to legalize drugs?
And I'll tell you that decriminalization does not mean runaway drugs habits. It doesn't. It's been tried. It's been tried in Portugal on a national scale, and it just doesn't. It doesn't do that. The figures for things like HIV acquired through injections were terrible in Amsterdam and places. Now there's barely a few people catching this every year. There's been so many successes on decriminalization of drugs. It really, really should be considered here. It just makes sense. It makes sense when you see what happens when it's tried. There was an experiment done here, I think in the 70s, in Liverpool, and what they did was they took the local heroin addicts. They went around and spoke to as many as they could, and they offered to supply them free in a safe environment where they could shoot up with clean needles. They could get that, or they could bring the drug. I'm not sure, or they could get it there, but they could shoot up in clean spaces and stuff. And it worked, for a few years until the funding ran out. But during that time, crimes for money acquisition for drugs and things like that, and opportunist crimes had gone right down comparatively. It really does have to be looked at here. It's not fair. Scotland, I don't know what's happening in Scotland, but fucking hell, they're dying in numbers that you'd only see on in a war. Really, there is a fucking runaway drug problem in Scotland. Somebody needs to get a hold of that really quickly. Whatever's going on there is failed. It's absolutely failed.
But like that's it's symptomatic of a systemic failure, broadly speaking, like the system that we have created that tackles drug and drug use. So like decriminalization doesn't usually create more drug dealers or more drug users and things. It actually does the opposite. Most people that use drugs aren't most people that don't use drugs, they don't avoid, like I've never taken heroin, not because it was a crime, but because of the health risks, because of the, there's all sorts of social stigma. My personal values come into it. People have family and work commitments and things like that. And they're like the legality of an issue, whether it's a criminal matter, doesn't actually come into play when a person's making a judgment on whether or not they want to do drugs. But treatment becomes easier to access if it's decriminalized. It's treated like a medical matter, so you can seek medical help. You can get addiction treatment. You can get, that, like, what do they call it? Harm reduction services and things like that. You can, there's all sorts of things that it happens. If prevention gets funded, then you don't have a problem really at all. You know what I mean? It doesn't really work like that. And we see across the board that, once you incorporate prevention in like education, you do better with mental health care and addiction treatment and things like that. Like Portugal, for example, they've got no major long-term increase in overall drug use. They've got fewer overdose deaths, lower HIV infection rates, as you were saying before, and they've got more people in treatment. So they've got fewer, drugs is much less of a problem since it was decriminalized for personal drug possession in 2001.
Yeah. So hopefully, we'll have a forward-thinking government after the election. I know what's going to happen I know what's going to happen if the right wing get in. It's not going to go well. I mean, they'll do the same as ever. Clamp down, send them to prison, and the supply won't be affected. It won't make a difference.
That is crazy, isn't it? But in other news, Pops, get your Discord.
Is it me? Oh, yes. Okay. Subheading that one. Oh yes, US trade. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, this is quite. We all kind of trade things. It's quite boring, but real life and it affects you. We'll try not to be too long about it. EU trade. Members of the European Parliament have moved to freeze progress on the proposed trade agreement with the United States, following a ruling by the Supreme Court of the United States. Although the UK is no longer an EU member, the impact could still be felt indirectly. British companies trading through European supply chains or relying on stable transatlantic markets may face uncertainty if negotiations remain on hold. This comes after stocks and the US dollar began to slip, according to the Financial Times. I'm sorry, a little chuckle, began to slip, yeah. As global trade faces a new Trump tariff threat. According to the Commercial Trust website, the UK occupies a fragile position in the middle of Trump's tariff crusade. Due to the long-standing special relationship between the US and UK, it was expected that Trump would make some concessions to us in the UK, even if other countries weren't so lucky. So far, however, Trump's not offered leeway to any country. Therefore, businesses and economists are currently working on the assumption that the UK could be faced with 15% tariffs like everywhere else, unless Trump clarifies otherwise. The Supreme Court ruling may not hold firm against Trump's invocation of Section 122. Trump has also been known to backpedal after making bold, sweeping statements. Nonetheless, this tug-of-war match between the US government and Supreme Court has only caused global economic uncertainty to rise. The British Chamber of Commerce was not enthusiastic about the Supreme Court ruling, as they correctly predicted that Trump would search for another law to get around it. A spokesman said that this situation does little to clear the murky waters for business.
No, it's pretty mad times, isn't it? Trump has managed to get that 15% tariff as he wanted. The Supreme Court said that no, yes, he can do this, and everywhere else except for the UK would be all right, pretty much, more or less. The EU is able to sort of retaliate and be able to clarify how things are going to work moving forward by freezing their trade. But because we're in such a fragile position, we don't have that luxury. This, I think, is another reason.
Fucking Brexit again, biting you on the leg.
This is another reason why we should be insulating ourselves from the tantrums of the orange man. He could put us into recession. That single individual has the power to make people significantly poorer, to make inflation go incredibly high. He could honestly push us into recession, or at least into recession watch, especially if this 15% tariff thing goes in. Simply because he's had a tantrum and he wants other countries to capitulate to him in a way that doesn't benefit anyone but him. And it's wrong. And this is a choice. We don't have to feel the effects of Donald Trump throwing his toys out the pram. If we were insulated within the EU market, if we were with the EU, we would be able to have all the benefits and protections of existing within a bloc that can act together. I mean, as a unit, the EU rivals the American market, doesn't it? In terms of finance.
I think the American market is slightly bigger. Well, it was with us, isn't it? Slightly bigger and more powerful than the US market. I think it was.
The EU market, yeah.
Yes. But yeah, we left.
And yet,
these tariffs. It's like giving a kid a lollipop. Somebody said tariffs to him. It's like giving a kid a lollipop. Now he wants all the lollipops. You know, it's just fucking crazy. Tariff this, tariff that, without even understanding what the fuck it means. It means his people pay more. A tariff, 15% tariff on us is a 15% tariff on his own folks as well. Fucking crazy, man. Orange.
It means businesses pay more. It means end users, end receivers of products, customers, they pay more. It means that things that we trade, things that we depend on with trade, once those start costing more, the country's paying more. Where do you think those costs end up? They end up passed down to the consumer all of the time.
All the time. Yeah. Doesn't come out of his pocket. Anyway.
That's him. That's that. Anyways, if you, I'll tell you what though. Actually, kind of sort of keeping on the Trump line. I've nearly forgot about this story for a whole minute.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, there's been a would-be gunman that's been shot dead in Mar-a-Lago. So a man, as you can see, this dude right here, has been shot by law enforcement after breaching a secure perimeter at Mar-a-Lago, the private resort owned by former President Donald Trump. It happened early on Sunday morning, I'm reading, when the man was spotted inside the Northgate area of the property carrying what appeared to be a shotgun and a fuel canister, according to the United States Secret Service, that is. So 2 Secret Service agents and a deputy from Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Damn it, I can't say these American things. Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office confronted the man and ordered him to drop the items. He put down the fuel can, but then raised his shotgun in a threatening manner, prompting officers to open fire and kill him at the scene. The man has been identified by investigators as 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin of North Carolina. He has been reported missing by his family several days before, and the authorities believe that he may have picked up the weapon while traveling south. It sounds like he was on his way to kill him, but President Trump and the First Lady weren't actually at Mar-a-Lago at the time. They were at the White House in Washington, D.C. when the incident occurred, and officials have not yet determined a clear motive. Some reports suggest that the man had become preoccupied with the documents and theories relating to Jeffrey Epstein, but investigators continue to probe his actions and state of mind. No law enforcement personnel were injured during this confrontation, and the FBI is leading the ongoing investigation alongside the Secret Service and local authorities. Authorities are reviewing the body camera footage and interviewing witnesses and analysing evidence to establish a further picture of what transpired. Now, I think we should start talking about weaponized words, and we should start talking about that. You remember that word, Dad? Stochastic.
Which is, I mean, I'm making fun. It's serious shit. This is where it ends. This is just the end line of I'll bet you could trace this back to some fucking stochastic shit going on, where he's felt
Well-
safe to build this fucking hatred. before
Because
bothering
there's this is just the sort of the theories that are going out there. Obviously, this isn't necessarily what's going on. The investigators are still doing it, but there are some reports that suggest that he was preoccupied with the documents and theories relating to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, because there's such a lack of certainty on that issue and there's such a lack of accountability for any of the atrocities that we've, it's gonna trigger people, and you don't get to choose where this stuff comes from. So Donald Trump is a man who has used words that would otherwise be, I mean, more or less, how do I say it, incitement. Like his language is increasingly, and his rhetoric is getting increasingly more dehumanizing, more bigoted. I mean, that was what he always was. That's what he ran a campaign on the first time. That's how we met Donald Trump, the presidential campaign. He was the, grab him by the pussy guy. He was saying all the horrible, most dehumanizing, disgusting stuff about political opponents and everybody else, that it was bound to at some point radicalize somebody, whether it was if he could create enough that somebody on the right radicalized into, I don't know, storming the Capitol or whatever, or he radicalized somebody from a different political background who then went on to attempt to kill him and shoot him. Like, you don't get to choose who you radicalize. Once you put the chaos out there, it's out there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yes, mate. It's people telling people what to do, playing with people's minds, eh? It's fucking wicked, and it's happening here. We know it as we see it. You and I see it. Well, we call it out every fucking week, it seems. Yeah, it's awful. It's awful.
All right, well, we've got the next story coming up now. While you find we're looking for the Ukraine, Russia, UK thing.
Ah, okay. The Russia, okay.
Yeah, we'll start with that one, and then we'll follow it right through, and we'll come down. I'm just going to make sure that link's loaded because we've got stuff to go through there, and I'm going to also have a quick chat with the chat and see what...
We've got two Ukraines to come, haven't we? We've got this one and the refugees, yeah?
Yeah, we'll do them all. Yeah, we'll do it all one after the other.
I'd like to have a bash at the refugees.
Yeah, do it all, Dad. Do it all.
Well, it's not that. Come on then. So, Russia, Ukraine, Russia, UK. It's the 4th anniversary of the invasion of Ukraine. Over 1 million men are dead here. President Zelensky spoke to the BBC 2 days ago when he told them and the world that Putin has already started World War III and must be stopped. Vladimir Zelensky continues to send a firm message of defiance against Russia's aggression. In an interview, he insisted that Ukraine will ultimately emerge victorious in the war, rejecting any ceasefire deal that would require giving up strategic territory that Vladimir Putin's forces have failed to capture, despite suffering heavy losses. Zelensky warned that the only way to counter this is through intense military and economic pressure aimed at forcing Russia to retreat. He argued that Russia needs to impose a new way of life on the world. Russia seeks to impose a new way of life on the world and to disrupt the freedoms people have chosen for themselves. When asked about Russia's demand that Ukraine hand over around 20% of the eastern Donetsk region, which Ukraine calls fortress cities, along with additional land in the southern Kherson and Zaporizhia regions. My apologies. Zelensky dismissed it as unreasonable, emphasizing that conceding such territory would just come at too high a cost. It's been a terrible war so far and continues to be. Today, on the same subject, Downing Street has outright denied claims from Moscow that its spies revealed the UK and France were, wait for it, conspiring to hand a nuclear weapon to Ukraine. There is no truth to this. The government has dismissed the allegation, with the Prime Minister's official spokesman saying this is a clear attempt by Vladimir Putin to distract from his heinous actions in Ukraine.
And as mentioned, sorry. The next bit was just the start of the link. Don't worry. But I just thought so I wanted to have a look at this quickly. This is Vladimir Zelensky. This is the 4th year anniversary of Ukraine, although this was filmed a couple of days before. So let's hear what he's got to say talking to the BBC.
Some people, I think including President Trump, cannot win this war. Are they correct?
Where are you now? Today you're in Kyiv. You're in the capital of our homeland. You are in Ukraine. I'm grateful for this. Will we lose? Of course not, because we are fighting for Ukraine's independence.
So if you can win this war, and I know you said that, what does victory look like?
Today we speak about stopping this war. I believe that stopping Putin today and preventing him from occupying Ukraine is a victory for the whole world, because Putin will not stop at Ukraine.
You're not saying that victory means getting all the land back, are you?
In any case, we will achieve that. That is absolutely clear. It's only a matter of time. To do it today would mean losing a huge number of people, millions of people, because the Russian army is large, and we understand the cost of such steps. We would not have enough people. We would be losing them. And what is land without people? Honestly, nothing. And we also do not have a sufficient amount of weapons. That depends not only on us, but on our partners. As of today, this is not available. But returning to the just borders of 1991 is without a doubt a victory for justice.
Because you know the argument is that people make is that you don't have enough troops, that you are dependent on foreigners for weapons, and therefore you are actually in a vulnerable position. And sometimes President Trump has exploited that.
We are vulnerable in this position. That is true. Today the issue is air defense. This is the most difficult problem. Unfortunately, our partners still do not grant licenses for us to produce systems ourselves. For example, Patriot systems, or even missiles for the systems we already have.
Why won't they do that?
I don't know. I have no answer.
Well, there you go.
That is so sad. So sad. It's a meat grinding machine, literally. And they're just feeding men into it as fast as they can possibly fucking get into it. It's just
Always
so
dirty, isn't it?
it's terrible. Now, while we're finished with that, if we are, I just want to have a quick word with Skyworks. Skyworks still here? If you are,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
okay. If you are Skyworks, when you come here, you're a guest. Okay, we're not here. It's not a free for all in our chat. That's why we have mods, and we have really good mods, and they care, and that's why you get bounced about a bit. It's not a free for all in there. We expect people to behave and act like like they're either joining in or listening or something. If not, you don't have to be here. It's okay. You can watch something else, but please don't come in trying to upset us or trying to change the way people behave here, because we've got it just how we like it. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
No, that's cool. You got a niggy telling off, mate. My dad's just been your dad for a second. He just dadded you. He just sunned you.
I did. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Just sunned him. Listen, sir.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
While we're finishing on that subject, the background, Dad, is pretty cool, isn't it? Do you like the Welsh?
I am so proud of our boys and girls. Yes. May I?
Yeah, did you want to handle this story?
Yeah, I do, because this is about. I'm proud. I'm really proud of this. Ukrainian refugees in Wales. So we're keeping on with the war in Ukraine just for a little while, but we're talking about my home nation here, Wales. I can feel the hair going up on the back of my on the palms of my hands. Sorry, on the back of my neck. We have a positive story unfolding right here. Here's an article for .com. Thank you, dside.com. Around 8,000 people fleeing the war in Ukraine have found safety and a new beginning in Wales over the 4 years since Russia launched its full-scale invasion in February 22. Under schemes such as the UK government's Homes for Ukraine and the Ukrainian Family Scheme, thousands of Ukrainians have made Wales their temporary or permanent home, escaping the brutality of war and rebuilding their lives in Welsh communities. Welsh councils, charities, volunteers, and countless host families have played a central role in welcoming those in need, reinforcing Wales's reputation as a nation of sanctuary, a place where those fleeing conflict can find safety, support, and a sense of belonging. In towns and cities across the country, Ukrainians are contributing to local life, from schools and workplaces to small businesses and community initiatives, enriching Welsh society whilst also preserving their own language and culture. The support has not only given sanctuary to those who have lost their homes, but has also brought communities together in shared compassion and solidarity, a powerful reflection of Welsh values and Wales's commitment to humanitarian action.
And there you go. And we do have a powerful commitment to humanitarian action. It does make me proud that this is what not just Wales, but the UK is doing. But, 8,000 people fleeing the war in Ukraine have finally found safety right here in Wales. And they're building, helping to build, better communities, contributing in ways that only they can and enriching our lives. And it's a fantastic exchange. I think that is something that we should all be proud of. That's out of the blight that is the war. The only good news to come out of it is that, if there are people that need a place to stay, that, need somewhere to, get back on their feet, rebuild their life, contribute to a beautiful culture that wants to contribute to helping you out, then, Wales is your place.
It certainly is. Wales is your place.
We like it. We like a bit of Wales.
Michael, you rotten bloody... You'd expect this from a southerner, wouldn't you? Southern softie. Maybe some of the refugees could join the Welsh rugby team for some better results.
That's just me. That was me. I feel like we should ban.
I thought we were friends. You know what I mean?
How dare you? How dare you? Ugh, V, man.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that was cool. So where you at now, Captain?
Well, we've got we had a few different links to look at. For starters, Dad, I'm pretty concerned about what's happening at the moment. Are you aware of what's happening?
Where?
Dad, what do you mean where? Do you not know?
Uh-oh.
You don't know what they're doing? What they are doing right now?
What are they doing?
They, and then when I mean they, I mean the James Webb Telescope, is taking the first peek inside where, Dad? Where's the James Webb Telescope?
It's Uranus.
No, say it properly.
No, that's what it...
No, Dad, say it properly. Come on.
James Webb Telescope. The James Webb Telescope takes the first peek inside Uranus. So,
I love it. I absolutely love it. So, yeah, this is...
I'm going to read a bit of it now. The European Space Agency announced Thursday. Can you get a picture up for that?
I've got a picture up now.
That a study using a joint NASA ESA built the James Webb Space Telescope has peered into Uranus's upper atmosphere. It's an important first step in revealing the nature of ice giants, both here and elsewhere throughout the universe. The study focused on the planet's magnetosphere, especially the ionosphere, which extends up to 5,000 kilometers above Uranus's cloud tops. Because the ionosphere is predictably full of ions, it's a charged field that interacts strongly with the planet's magnetic field. This allows the ionosphere to serve as a means of investigating the magnetic field, and through that, the planet's core and its spectacular auroras. This study mapped the temperature and ion density across the planet, which should help us understand the atmosphere of our own ice giants and beyond. Using the near-infrared spectrograph, the team was able to look at a full rotation of the planet. This helped them build a 3D map that can provide insight way beyond a single flat image. They've compiled it in a rotation animation. I don't know if he's clever enough to show you that, but yeah. Uranus has been known for some time to have spectacular auroral events, particularly those.
Dad, Uranus has spectacular auroral events, and I'm looking at this now. That Uranus is measured with a scale of 500 kilometers. These
I
jokes.
could just, I mean, I could get another job. Do you know what I mean? So, has been known, yeah, we've had spectacular oral events, particularly those that produce infrared grows. You got me giggling now, child. Uranus's magnetosphere is one of the strangest in the solar system. It's tilted and offset from the planet's rotational axis, which means its auroras sweep across the surface in complex ways. Northumbria University's Paco Tiranti probably said it much better than I did. The NIR spec measurements found that the highest temperature in the icy world were between 3,000 and 4,000 kilometers above the cloud tops, while the highest ion densities were much lower at around 1,000 kilometers. If those heights seem very large, remember that Uranus has a diameter 4 times that of Earth. So Uranus is still one of the more enigmatic members of the solar system. Voyager 2, way back in the 70s, Voyager 2 laid the foundation of our understanding of Uranus. I can't even say it now. When it completed a flyby more than 40 years ago. But new studies continue to expand on this understanding. Some have even called into question the planet's status as uniformly cold. We'll just have to wait and see what insight scientists can glean from this remarkably detailed new addition to the data set. Fantastic. Fantastic. Science right there on the edge of, right out there investigating ice giants. This James Webb Telescope is producing magnificent results, absolutely magnificent. It's a whole other world from step up from Hubble, a complete different way of looking at stuff, and it looks for long times at stuff. It's really cool, really, really cool. Some clever people.
The way you describe the James Webb Telescope, because you say it looks at things and it looks for incredibly long time, like to really get everything. I could just imagine if it could speak, it'd be like, I'm looking, like the thinker out of I'm thinking. I'm sorry, you can't have a serious side story and put Uranus in it. It just doesn't happen when I'm around.
Yeah, and the chat's as bad as you as well, and for goodness sake, for fact's sake, yes. But no, it's amazing. It's an amazing tool. This they look like, it just looks like a blind eye. It
looks like a bad case of cataracts.
Well done, the telescope. It's, instead of looking out, it's a picture back at the scientist's eye. The reflection.
And that blind cataract-filled motherfucker was like, "This is Uranus."
I know I don't see you anywhere, but this is Uranus. So yeah.
So speaking of amazing and incredible, and amazing and incredible, we've got another science newsy story, but it's a positive news story. In fact, you know what? This story is so damn amazing. I think I'm gonna have to give it a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need you to provide me with the theme tune. No, I'm joking. It's fine. But no, it's a science news, but it's also a really, really good positive story. So I'm going to hit it with the old.
A baby boy has become the first.
Oh, there we go. So,
Fantastic.
I'm sorry.
Fantastic.
A baby boy has become the first British child to be born using a womb transplanted from a dead donor. Hugo was born 10 weeks ago. His mother, Grace Bell, who was born without a viable womb, described Hugo as simply a miracle.
I remember trying to peek over the drapes, and he finally got put in my arms, and this is just what everyone has been working so hard to achieve.
How fucking incredible is that? How amazing is that? That's the first baby born from a transplanted womb. That's where medical science is up to now.
That's just fantastic. I mean, it opens the way to make so many people what they want to be, a family. Fantastic.
It does. Being hailed as the miracle baby. I've got an article that comes along with it just so we can understand a bit more about it, because I'm not going to try and pretend like we can present this story in any meaningful way. We're just learning it with you as we go along. Yeah, so baby boy, look at him. Baby boy born to UK mother after womb transplant from dead donor. I don't like the way they wrote that. They could have said just deceased or, from donor. But Grace Bell says that she is the happiest I've ever been in my life. I believe that she was infertile, wasn't she? She didn't have a womb herself.
She was born without a viable womb at all. Yeah. Just so fucking unlucky. No womb to make a baby in or to put a baby in. And lo and behold, they managed to fucking transplant one and have it work. It's just fantastic, mate. £6, 13 ounces. I call that a bouncing baby boy. Go on.
What a cool, yeah, this is so good. She was born with this, MRKH. Maya, Dad, help me out.
Blah, blah, blah. I was born, right, Bell, an IT program manager, was born with Maya Rokitansky Hauser syndrome, a rare condition resulting in an underdeveloped or missing womb. She was told as a teenager she would be unable to carry a child and has described Hugo's birth as a miracle. She said, I never, ever thought that this would be possible. I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. And that's sweet. And that's bloody sweet.
It is, isn't it? And there you go, folks. That's the happy family.
It was £6. It was a Polyoctopus smack salad. £6.
It was a whole £6.
If you know, you know.
With some change. That's for only for British people. Only British people are going to get that. That baby was £6 and £6. It's £6 and some change. There you go.
Rokitansky. That's cool. Yeah, that was a lovely story. The things they can do.
And we've got one more story to chuck into the mix, unless you... No, we're doing it. I'm not even going to give you the option. We're doing it. One more science story just because we can. This one's actually quite interesting, though, to be fair.
Yeah. No, this is. I've been following this stuff.
This is some interesting schnizzles.
Are you playing the video?
I certainly am.
Get in.
Look closely at this satellite image of the moon. You can still see you in the dust and part of the capsule from the last time humans were there.
I just want to say...
No, you can't. It's all fake. It never happened.
I just want to say, yeah, while you've paused that, I watched all this stuff when when they first landed on the moon. I was 12. It was the first time I'd been allowed to stay up all night. I was allowed to stay up and watch because it happened in the early hours when they landed on the moon. And I watched every fucking launch since then, I think. All the Apollos and stuff. I watched all them. And then I've stopped watching now. You want?
Yeah. Old SpaceX and that now. We don't talk about that anymore. No, no, I am interested though, like Dad, just because I made the joke about it not being real. What do you say to people who say that when you watch those events on TV, that you were actually just watching CGI and that there is no...
bollocks? Yeah, what a load of old bollocks, mate. I mean, how would they have kept like 250,000 people or so that were involved in the fucking just in the Apollo missions? You know, for manufacturing things, people that fucking, even the people that sewed the gloves up and stuff. How would they have kept all them secret, all them quiet about secrets like that? You know, for all this time, 40 years ago, it just didn't. You know, for sure it fucking happened. You bunch of dickwads. Never heard such poorly educated nonsense. It's down to bad fucking education again, lacks in holes in people's education. But yes.
So we know what the last mission was. We know what the space race was. So now we're going to have a look at China's moon program. Also, just before we hit play, I had a look at some videos last night about. Right, we know the ISS, right, the International Space Station. It's a brilliant piece of engineering, but it's not a hotel. You know, it's not like a place where you expect the most luxurious like space and like, you know, things around you. Like it's a working place and it's for people in an extreme environment that go and work. Have you seen what China have done. They've like rewritten the rules on it. They've designed a space station that is like so comfortable, so beautiful and shiny and sleek. It's like something out of the future. It's so good.
It is the future. It literally is the future, mate. Like the ISS is coming to the end of its life, like it or not. It's starting to leak. It's starting to vibrate. It's some of the really old equipment in there is not in the best condition. Everything, it's money. It's affected by a shortage of money. And unfortunately, the American space program is so dependent on what the president thinks about it. It's a real bloody shame. But China now are doing fantastic things. They've just sent a rocket around the moon. Like Elon has pioneered this way of landing a rocket back on its bum, standing up when it comes back. He's pioneered that landing, and the Chinese have gone, "Oh, that's a bloody good idea." Now Elon's done it from low Earth orbit. He's managed to get them to return regularly from low Earth orbit, but the Chinese just sent a spaceship round to the moon, which is 250,000 miles away. And when they come back from the moon, they come fucking screaming in. The other thing slowing them down is a quick retro burn, and then the atmosphere does the rest. And it's a really, really hard ride on equipment and stuff. Anyway, they've managed to bring one back from the moon, plopped it down right on the surface of the sea as if it was landing for real, back at the space station. And they've showed that they can do that without a problem. So that's another huge step forward. The fact that they can bring these things back from the moon now and still have them fire rockets at, the motors they've carried with them to a powered landing. It's fucking incredible. Really incredible. Yes.
Let's have a look.
Meanwhile, China was building its own moon program. In 2006, its chief scientist said lunar exploration was a reflection of a country's power.
It is.
And in 2013, China landed an unmanned craft on the moon, which nobody had.
Does that mean they've got like unmanned power? No, I don't know how that works. But do you think there's any truth to that? That there's power?
Well, it takes a powerful nation, yeah. It's fucking hugely expensive, massively expensive. I know the Indians have done it cheaply, gone to space cheaply, sent probes to Mars cheaply, but everything's relative, isn't it? Getting to the moon is huge, massively expensive. It takes a whole country to do that, Yes.
Had done since the 1970s. Soon, the US was paying attention.
The directive I'm signing today will refocus America's space program on human exploration and discovery.
China have made it clear that they want to emulate the US success of the 60s and land humans on the moon.
Yes,
the US don't want.
That's they've figured out really cleverly. Elon struggled for years trying to get panels that to stay on the air as aircraft as it becomes on the way up the rocket, to protect from the heat and stuff, the heat shock and stuff like that. But the Chinese have got to. Here's a better idea. We'll stick like polystyrene stuff to it. When we get going fast enough, it'll all fall off. We don't need to carry that to space and bring it back. Just don't need it. So off it goes. And that stuff's just keeping
to see China do that.
Yeah, it's just keeping the stuff temperature shocks down and stuff like that while it's on the base. But then they don't need it.
Here's the Artemis program.
Very clever.
Slingshot.
It's a long way to the moon, mate. That little moon's a long bloody way off. Like say 250,000 miles. It's a long way to go if you're stuck for a fucking bit of puncture.
It's a long way to go for not a lot, though. What are we getting out of going back to the moon? I mean, from what I'm looking at here, it kind of feels like maybe America and China, at least according to this particular BBC content here, that it may be they're raising the question, are the US and China in a space race? I mean, that's what they've been building up to. They were like, when was the last mission to the moon? What was the space race? What is China's moon program? NASA's Artemis program, and then that leads into, are they in a space race?
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff on the moon. It's everything, you know. There's water. They found water there. They think. Well, no, they have. The Chinese and that have found water. There are craters on the moon that have never seen sunlight since the whatever plowed into it first did it. It's amazing, and they're pretty sure now that these things contain water ice. Sorry. There are all kinds of Smack says. I think it was Smack. Yeah, pointed out. There's exotic minerals. There's and there's also something like hydrogen-3, I think it's called. There are, you know, the fact that there's water, that means there's also oxygen and hydrogen and stuff, and they got a different type of hydrogen that forms there. They've got there's every reason to go to the moon. First, for the exotic minerals they can bring back and get it to pay for its fucking trip, but also because it can be a stepping stone. If once we've got somewhere settled on the moon, and we can send spaceships there to fill up on the moon, then that's a stepping stone into the rest of the rest of the solar system. Marvelous that we don't have to take all that heavy oxygen, water, and stuff from Earth. We can go and pick it up, take a rocket to the moon, land it there, fill it up with stuff that's been produced there, and then take off from the moon, which is just so much easier than taking off from the huge gravity well that the Earth produces. It's just amazing. Real clever thinking. Let's hope it works.
So let's have a little listen to this.
To have permanent bases on the moon. And getting there first may be the key.
The moon is the size of Africa, and there are only some regions on the moon that has resources. You basically are there first, and you have permanent infrastructure.
First of all, I didn't know that it was the size of Africa. Also, I really feel like that is the weird way of, like, it's not even an American person that's saying it, because normally it's Americans that are like, oh, it's the size of 12 elephants.
Size of Nebraska and an elephant. Yeah. Okay.
But I guess, though, to make it in your head, it's an African continent-sized area. That's rich with resources that I didn't know, and obviously they want it's a race now. It seems to be first permanent infrastructure on the moon.
Yeah.
Then if another nation has to land there, they have to take your permission.
Focus is on the moon's south pole, because frozen in its deep craters, there's water.
We've got fucking loads of the stuff here. What's their interest in water?
This is what?
What's their interest in water? That maybe is it
Water
scientific?
is everything, mate. Water is everything. It's what you need to live on. It's what we all need to live on. Plus, you turn water into energy. Water, you split it up into hydrogen and oxygen, and you put those in your rocket, and off you fuck. It's
okay. So, but my question would be, I guess, that like this is what I don't understand. That I'm going to do a little bit of quiet research in the background while we're talking about it, but. Why are people interested in water on the moon? I mean, if we're going to call, let's compare it back to Africa again in terms of size. I'm sure there's a lot of more water per square meter in Africa than there is on the moon.
Yes. The problem we got here is the size of the rocket to lift water off the Earth. You've seen the size of the fucking rockets.
Oh, so this is return fuel then?
This fuel is also, it's return and ongoing fuel potentially. The idea is that if once you've got rocket, you can ice there. It's water ice. You can farm it and you can split it up into, like I say, hydrogen and oxygen, and then you can burn those in a rocket engine. And taking off, like I said before, taking off from the moon is just so much easier than taking off from the Earth because of the huge gravity well that the Earth produces. Do you know what I mean? The Earth is big and the gravity is strong, and it takes a lot of getting out of it. It really does. But the moon doesn't have that atmosphere, does it? And it's not half as strong. I mean, it's not even a quarter as strong. It's much less strong. Far less forces. Can't get me English. Holding a rocket down on the moon than there are on the Earth. Just so much easier. The idea being that you'd land there, farm the stuff, turn it into fuel. You'd have a little station doing that permanently, and that would, whenever there's enough fuel was available, you'd land a rocket there, refill it to the very tippy top, and send it off. It's a great
This is
idea.
essential
It is, sorry, it's a great idea.
No, that was my mistake. Sorry, Dan. I thought you'd finished. No, yeah. I think
to support human life on the
Yeah,
moon,
exactly what you were
not
saying
only
there.
for astronauts to drink, but because water is made from hydrogen and oxygen, that oxygen could be extracted to give them air to breathe. And if separated, hydrogen and oxygen can become rocket fuel, which could be used for our future plans in space.
This time, we will not only plant our flag and leave our footprint, we will establish a foundation for an eventual mission to Mars and perhaps someday to
It even ruins saying this. Like, you can't even do this right. To Mars.
Mars, but
He was
yeah,
about
that's
to
it,
say,
mate. That's why the moon is so important.
Capital.
But that's why the moon is so important as a stepping stone. Without all that gravity. That's why.
many worlds.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying, finding water there is
Hold on.
such a bonus. Such a bonus. Proper race now.
So their argument is that the moon is going to serve as that base of infrastructure, human ingenuity, where you actually utilize lunar resources to build your capacity.
Some of those resources are hidden in moon dust, including helium-3, which could one day power nuclear fusion reactors and is very rare and expensive on Earth. But extracting it from the moon has never been tried.
You have to send all the equipment to the moon. You then have to do all that processing, contain your helium-3, return it safely to Earth, and then use it. And the cost of that will be substantial. Will the benefit be worth it?
And liftoff of Artemis 1. We rise together.
That's one of many unknowns in this new race to the moon, but the ambitions are clear.
See, look at the shit that we can get when we work together. Like, I understand that a lot of this was born out of competition, and even now this is in the backdrop of competition, but look at what we as humans do. We're leaving the planet to go and do cool shit. Like,
Oh, it's fantastic. And it's going to take some brave people at first, though, because, I mean, the first people to go to Mars aren't coming back. As for, if you follow Elon's plan, they're simply not coming back. So it's going to take a special type of person to do it that way. But who knows, doing it this way, it'll be, if we find the same thing on Mars, if we can find water ice on Mars, and I believe there is, we could do the to and fro's much easier, couldn't we? Much easier, quicker, cheap, relatively, all that stuff.
would you do it? Not necessarily the first wave or whatever. Would you at all ride the rocket up?
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah.
You would?
Yes, I would.
You'd ride that controlled missile?
I would. That's what it is. It's an intercontinental ballistic missile. They're taking the fucking warhead off. Well, the Apollos were, and that the Geminis and that they were genuinely intercontinental ballistic missiles. They took the top off and replaced with some pilots. Well, passengers at first. At first, there were passengers and button pushers. Yeah, but it came on very quickly.
The first space race was a lot about missions. The space race we are seeing today, it's about activity. It's not just one mission. It's this connection of activities that build capacity to utilize space for a much more sustainable period and longer term.
How about this, Lou? There are people here, there are people alive now whose children will go to the moon and Mars. Absolutely convinced of it.
But not yours. No, I'm joking.
I know, mine are as thick as buggery. But might go as luggage, but that's about it.
Yeah, we were never astronauts. That wasn't our forte.
No, I didn't teach you to be astronauts.
So I think, yeah, robots most likely taking our jobs there. They're taking our adventures too.
Are they? Don't forget, what's that? FPV, mate, first person view. It'll be the size of Devon. A nice one, Smack. Yeah, it's going to be I'm so excited about the future of space travel. I was born just at the right time, I think, to see the beginning and all that stuff. It's one of the one things I've really enjoyed it watching through my life, really, since I was a kid.
Good, and I think that we should incorporate that passion for space stuff into more space stuffy on here. We'll just, start talking about more things that are interesting to you and all that other stuff. Have whole segments where it's a shame we haven't got the green screen working. Otherwise, we'd have made you present all the science news as a floating head in space.
As a floating head in space, yeah. It's a shame we had that idea, didn't we? But my computer's let me down. Boo! I need to find out what sort of memories on my computer so I can buy some more. I think that will cure it.
Well, I think that pretty much covers it. That was a fun show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Guys, people in the chat, thank you so much for being there again. Chatterati, I think you're fabulous. Fabulous. You hear that? That's not even great, is it? That's fab. How about you, young fella? You had fun?
Do you know what? I've got some really serious criticisms. I wasn't going to say anything, but here's what I really...